Good evening and thank you for joining us. My name is Wairi Mombogwa. Let's take a look at the stories making headlines. The security situation, which way forward? Fighting drug abuse, Nakada and women MPs converge. And in sports, Kogalo's tactician Frank Nuttal in a fresh contract. Despite the ongoing military operation in Kapedo, armed raiders visited Silale area, struck Ngaungayan village in Kapedo East before shooting dead one person and allegedly making away with several herds of cattle. Elsewhere, tension remained high along the Samburu-Isiolo border, where 10 people died following inter-community clashes. These have been the grim headlines in our nation. Insecurity continues to bite, but we ask, could there be a way out?
The security situation has been at all adapt. Pundits argue that a lot need to be done to contain the situation.
The entire northern left and all the way to the border of Uganda is very shaky at the moment. And because of the nature of fear that is there, many of the groups now may take advantage of the same. And they also want to demonstrate that with or without the military, they have a capacity to continue the community violence that they have had before.
This comes hours after MPs accused KDF officers for harassing residents, looting and burning of homes. According to security analyst Peter Mbaye, the current situation is being experienced because some criminal gangs are taking advantage of the operation in Kapedo to strike less volatile areas.
When military or security intervene in an area, on one part it creates also opportunities for predators who can come in. So that one you can expect that whenever that is happening, the others who are going to take advantage of the same.
He argues that the government should take a leading role to contain acts of violence by ensuring sustained crackdowns, inspections and above all to foster community policing whose main goal is to put the citizenry at the core of peace, initiative and campaign to root out hooliganism in the society.
We should combine short-term and long-term initiative, and the long-term initiative should be development. Human development is the key to undermining crime. But as long as we only use, let's say, we use power and we use the weapons to combat crime, it might remain for a long time. So we must encourage more human development, and the current effort in terms of Vision 2030 particularly.
There are still concerns over illegal ownership of weapons among Kenyans, particularly in urban areas, and weeding them out will require serious collaboration between citizens and the security organs.
We are continuing with violence. The urban crime is still continuing. We have a very high rate of small arms proliferation in this country, and they are not controlled. We've seen a gradual reduction of terrorism in terms of grenades, but that does not mean it's over.
According to the expert, the military operation might take long, and for the security situation to be contained, Kenya ought to adopt the community policing. Reporting for WTV News, I'm Godfrey Ouma.
Now that story brings us to our feedback question. Are you satisfied with the government's handling of the security situation in Kapedo? Are you satisfied with the government's handling of the security situation in Kapedo? Now send us your thoughts on our SMS line on 20058. We'll sample them and post them on our Facebook page, WTV Kenya. Now, the National Campaign Against Drug and Alcohol Abuse officials Thursday hosted women members of parliament in a consultative meeting aimed at spearheading the fight against drugs and alcohol abuse. Winnie Otieno tells us more.
The problem, especially about the hard drug business.
The 47 women representatives have identified drug and substance abuse as one of the key areas of focus within the counties. They are seeking ways and areas of interest that they can partner with NACADA in the fight against drug and substance abuse in the country and specifically the county level. Alcohol abuse was first seen as a men's problem, but now women have taken over. The 47 county representatives say they are worried about the group that has sunk into drunkenness and are even more concerned with the fresh group, especially the children.
Vizazi vyetu vinapotea, vizazi vyetu vimeathirika sana katika mambo haya, kutumia pombe haramu na pia kutumia mihadarati. Tunajua kuna ile miswada ambayo ilikuwa imetungwa kwa lile bunge la nyuma, na tunajua pengine kutakuwa na ukarabati mchache ambao tutaweza kurekebisha ili miswada hile tuweze kuiregesha bungeni na tuweze kuipitisha.
They cited licensing of liquor joints, mobile alcohol trade, and also the police involvement in the drug menace as the key areas of partnership.
We are speaking about enforcement of that law, making sure that our interior ministry, our chiefs, our police, and everybody on that line enforces the law that has been put across. And the licensing procedures that are supposed to be done by counties are also properly done, and NACADA has all of that expertise.
We are having a chain of enforcement officers that we want to recruit. We want to have special gadgets that will come and record the police when they're taking that bribe, and the chiefs. It's going to be not business as usual. It's going to be a very tough thing. The police, watanaswa wenyewe tunalaya, the same people. We are going to have special gadgets, including a pen like the one I'm calling here.
The youths are encouraged to participate in sports, arts, and most importantly, get spiritual nourishment that will guide their morals.
It's termed as a war, a disease, and all the unfriendly names. But the 47 women representatives, together with NACADA, have vowed to come up with solutions to gradually tackle the problem from the county level. Reporting for WTV News, I am Winnie.
Now moving on, poor waste management systems are to blame for environmental health hazards. Nevertheless, the desire to have a clean environment is now resulting to alternative measures in the quest for a greener economy. These efforts are not just in Kenya, but spread throughout the East African Community region. Biko Rading with that report.
Tons of plastic are disposed of our towns every day. In Kampala, Uganda, the waste disposed is estimated to reach 6 tons each day. Much of it litters the city and blocks the vital sewage system.
The drainage system itself was full of bottles. Go to other places where they don't pick these things. Go to the drainage system. They have blocked. But these days you cannot get the trenches blocked because of bottles.
But not everyone sees it as a problem. The entrepreneurial mind argues that it's a business opportunity. Some private entities have stepped in to try and rid the city of plastic garbage menace through recycling and creating employment.
Well, I would say it is working. If at all there were no recycling plants, that means all the plastics we are collecting right now would be in the rivers and streets. The cleanup is true, it's going on. The situation would have been much worse if we were not recycling.
More than half of the garbage in Uganda's capital city is left uncollected by the understaffed and underfunded city authorities, and much of it ends up in the drainage channels. David Kibande is a plastic waste collector who has employed 10 collectors. With the recycling company around, Kibande and his team can now make a living. They collect up to 10 tons of plastic per week. A kilo of plastic sells for 7 US cents. He earns between $2,000 and $4,000 monthly from the business. The recycling company PRI recycles 650 kilograms of plastic per hour and more than 3 million kilograms of plastic annually, meaning the market is huge for garbage collectors. They plan to recycle both high-density plastic and low-density plastic like plastic bags, which were banned by a 2007 government legislation that has never really been enforced.
The regulation right now is under revision to reduce the schedule of exceptions, because that was the major problem. So many plastics had been put in the exceptions schedule, which means that most of them were still going to be in use. But that's going to be revised, and there is a new implementation plan.
With such initiative being undertaken by the African government, it will not only help in generating more revenue, but also create employment to the youth.
Rwanda has led Africans' fight against plastic bags, banning it some few years ago. Other African nations have moved either to limit the usage or even ban it for good. However, lack of capacity in sorting out garbage in order to target plastic for recycling, as well as poor waste management, still remain a key challenge to most African nations. Reporting for WTV News, I'm Rading Biko.
In matters business, sales of new Porsche vehicles have exceeded those of Mercedes-Benz in the past few months of its presence in Kenya. This marks a strong start for the luxury car maker's local dealership. Here's a report by Brenda Gitobu.
Data by the Kenya Motor Industry Association, KMI, shows that Porsche Center Nairobi sold 82 units of its models in the period up to the end of September. This saw Porsche, which opened its showroom in Nairobi in May, beat the previous luxury car's top seller DTW's Mercedes, which stood at 53 units. Mercedes has dominated Kenya's luxury car sales charts for long, mostly associated with wealthy high-class individuals, private firms and government departments. However, the rise of Porsche model is driven by individuals seeking trendy, classy and high-performance cars. This marks a strong recovery in the motor industry that took a hit in 2009 when the government banned the purchase of fuel-guzzling luxury car models for top civil servants in a bid to reduce wastage of taxpayers' money. The sales in the 9-month period surpassed the whole of last year's 248 units by 17.3%, setting the stage for a higher performance by the end of this year. Increased demand for the cars whose prices can top 25 million shillings is seen as a reflection of rising incomes and consumption amongst Kenya's rich and middle-income households.
And in sports, Kenya Premier League champions Gor Mahia has extended coach Frank Nuttal's contract for another year due to his recent success in bagging the league title for the second time in a row. Here is more on Kogalo.
Frank Nuttal was hired in September and took over from former coach Bobby Williamson this year, earning 600,000 shillings a month, becoming one of Kenya's top-earning tacticians. Barely 2 months into his appointment, Nuttal came in mid-season and braced the immense pressure from Kogalo's technical bench and the fanatic followers to hand the team its 14th league title. With an impressive slate of just one loss out of his 9 league outings, Gor Mahia confirmed that the two parties have agreed on the details of the contract extension, with the coach expected to put pen to paper when he returns home in January. Nuttal is out of the country on a 7-week holiday in his native country ahead of the new season. Chairman Ambrose Rachia stated that they are very happy with the coach, concluding that when he was brought in September, critics dismissed him as a fitness coach, only to be dumbfounded by the impressive turn of events. The extension of the contract means that the club will have to part with 7.2 million during the period of the contract, but the figure could go higher if Gor Mahia does well in the forthcoming Confederation of African Football Championships.
And that's all from our news desk. Thank you for joining us. My name is Wairi Mombogwa. Have a blessed night.